up, everybody?
What's happening, family?
And welcome back to another episode of
Is This Gonna Cause an Argument?
My name is Angel Tanksley, also known as Angel Lakita Moore, also known as That Chick Angel. That Chick Angel, Angel. Figure that Chick Angel. And I am joined by my husband, my boyfriend, my lover, my best friend, and one of the best hosts of podcasts you could ever get.
You ain't got to go line and stuff.
Tell them who you are, baby.
I am a husband, though. I'm the other host of This Is Gonna Cause an Argument. Greatly appreciate y'all tuning in. This is a podcast that we do every single week, and we are a married couple, and we talk about all the juiciness.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? In marriage, in relationships, in the world.
Mm-hmm.
All right? And whatever else we feel like talking about.
Yeah.
We talk about our family. We got 4 sons. We call them Tanksley Pride. You're going to hear a little bit about that. And we are also joined every week by these wonderful people.
Yes, they are wonderful.
Glorious people.
Glorious people.
Oh, they mean the world to us. Mm-hmm. That is our immediate family, and they are in Patreon. They're watching us film this live, as they do a lot of stuff. They watch us film live, and you can be a part of that Patreon for the low of $5 a month. All you got to do is go to patreon.com/thatchickangel and join on, sign up.
So just FYI, just so there's no confusion, our Patreon is who we call our immediate family.
Oh, I didn't clear that up. You're right.
Yeah, because you were like, we're joined by our immediate
family.
Yeah,
immediate family. They in the Patreon. You understand me?
So, yes, as Marcus said, you can join our Patreon for the low of $5. And let me tell you, a month, or you can join for the year and get a month free. But let me tell you.
Hold on. I didn't say my name yet.
I don't know.
Did I say my name? I'm Marcus Tanksley, a.k.a. Tank, the other host of This Is Gonna Cause an Argument.
I don't know if you said it or not.
But, well, that's who I am. I said I'm her husband. That's good enough.
Okay, come on.
Hey.
Let me tell you some of the wonderful things about Patreon. This weekend, our moderators planned this amazing Twisted karaoke event. And when I tell you we had a time, and it was so funny. Hearing people really trying to battle it out. One of our Patreon members, she goes by the name of Killer Ken. She was pretty hard to beat because she was coming out of the blocks like Twista on these lyrics.
We're going to have to treat her like Jordan in the dunk contest. Restrict her next time.
Right, exactly. People needed a head start. So it was a great time. I got to participate as well. I lost, but it was still great to participate and have the fun. So it's not just about getting early content. It's about getting exclusive experiences as well as exclusive, what are those things called? Discounts and early discounts, early sales. So go ahead and check out our Patreon. We're also joined today by an amazing sponsor, one that we have worked a lot with, and they are BetterHelp. We will tell you more about them later on in the podcast. If you don't know about them already, you tearing up my hair. Know about them already. If y'all couldn't have heard, Marcus was trying to rub in some of the leave-in conditioner in my hair, and his fingers are like sandpaper, and I could hear my hair just between his fingers.
Massaging each follicle.
No, my hair don't need that type of massage. My scalp needs that type of massage, not my hair. Anyway.
Hold up. First of all, let me go on and point this out. Angel was telling me how much she's been getting complimented on how beautiful her face is with her slick back. She's been wearing the slick back with the part down the middle.
I said I've been getting complimented about the slick back hairdo, not about how beautiful my face is.
Well, the reason the hair looks so good is because her face is so beautiful. This has always been my request. Since we first met.
Get your hair off your face.
Get your hair, all of that away from your pretty little face. All right? Get it as far back as possible.
Thank you.
Because Angel, this would be her. She would be like, hey, how you doing? Because her hair is pretty, but I want to see her face. I can see her hair anyway. I don't need to see this.
Thank you, babe. No, that was the one time.
The hat. The one time was the hat.
That's because I burnt my forehead.
Yeah.
So I needed the hat to come off.
We wasn't even talking yet. We just crossed paths in the park.
And I was like, let me cover up this. It was like the size of a silver dollar in the middle of my forehead. But I was like,
baby. Get all that away from that. Go on somewhere. You know, y'all women like to do bangs. Get them bangs out of here.
I love a good bang.
Unless you got a 9 head. Some of y'all might need the bang. You got that 9 head, not the 4 head. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Sometimes we have a lot. Sometimes mine is very tiny. Okay, so our first segment is going to be Tanksley Pride. If you don't know about Tanksley Pride, as Marcus mentioned earlier, our 4 boys we call Tanksley Pride. We have 4 boys, ages 3. We have soon-to-be 8-year-old twins and a 13-year-old. And our Tanksley Pride segment is where we tell you a story that relates to one or more of those children. Would you like to start it off, or would you like?
You go ahead.
So, yesterday, I was having, my kids love to sometimes come home, especially the twins, and tell me what they've been learning. And here lately, Kai specifically has been telling me about omnivores, carnivores, and herbivores. Granted, he's not pronouncing any of it right. He's going omnivores, carbivores, herbivores, or something. It was.
I know, yeah. I can't remember what the herbivore was, but I was like, I think they're trying to say herbivore.
Right. So because they're showing so much interest in it, I'm like, okay, well then we're going to extend this conversation a little bit more, right? Instead of me just trying to quickly get them to hush. So I'm like, okay, so tell me what an omnivore is. And I'm realizing, none of this is really sticking because they're just guessing. They're like, meat. They eat meat? And so I was like, oh, you know what? Let me actually help them further and give them the Latin understanding of the different pieces of the words. So omni, that's one part that us Christians know because we use omni in every description of God. Omnipresent, omnificent, omniscient. We use all of it. Yeah. So I was like, it means all. It means everything. And then we're breaking down herb, and we're breaking down carnivore or carning. When I tell you, it was like my children's brains had been greased down with olive oil, and I was trying.
It was the most frustrating.
and it was like I was trying to throw like items at their brains, but it was just sliding off and hitting the floor. I'd be like, carne means meat. What?
What's so bad is when you went into carne, omni, herb, when we were trying to explain that to them, it's like they knew less than they did when they first brought this to us.
Like, what is
it was
happening?
So frustrating. I was just like, Lord, help these teachers.
I was like, okay, herb, you've heard these words. It means plant. So what does that mean? If something is a herbivore, what does it mean it eats? They're like, meat. I was like, no, try again. Everything. I was like, if I'm telling you that herb/herb means plant, what type of animal would be a herbivore? And they would think, and they'd be like, meat.
No, no, he said shark. That's what he said, shark. I said, Angel, give me the damn remote. I'm done. I can't do this no more.
Shark. I was like, listen. So literally, it was the most frustrating thing and I was like, it looks like they're paying attention at times, but then when they say the things that they're saying, it looks like no, they're doing something else in their brains, and it's not listening.
It's like they just excited to be in the conversation.
I guess so.
Just glad to be here. That's what it is.
And I'm really thinking, oh my goodness, and especially because they are this man's children. Kai, I'm thinking because he's the one who brought it up to me, is really into it and is going to really give me good examples of these animals. No. Terrible, I tell you. So Marcus tried to take over the lesson, thinking he was like, "Nah, Angel,
let's take it from a different angle because I see what you're doing and it's good. But these is my kids. Let me try to take it from it. It was I gave up.
I said,
I'm gonna let
me go back and finish what I was doing. So we eventually finished it up. But I'm gonna tell you what I said. I need to make sure I've eaten and that I am not in a rush. If I ever decide, let's just take time and talk over some things. However, this morning we had a whole nother lesson.
We needed a whiteboard.
I do. Would they have our whiteboard in the room?
I'm saying when we did that, we should have just put it on the whiteboard.
Today, Kai was asking about taxes.
Where's he getting this?
Well, no. Okay, so what it was is that he saw a sign on the side of a restaurant that was looking for employees, and it was like $16, pay starting at $16.50 per hour. And Kai said, so for every hour someone works there, they get paid $16.50? And I was like, yes, minus taxes. And he was like, oh, I know what taxes are. And I said, what are taxes? He said, if you get something for free, the person who gave it to you still needs to be paid. So money is taken from your paycheck and given to the president, and the president pays those people. And I said,
Kai has all the confidence.
I said, Kai, that's actually almost really accurate.
It's really close.
And so I just went breaking it down. I was like, you see the streets, the sidewalks, the lights. I was like, all of those things have to be paid for. And I was like, it's not a specific person. I was like, they take taxes out of our paychecks to pay for all those things. I said, but it doesn't go to the president. It goes to the state. It goes to the city. And I was like, and we also have to pay sales tax. That's when he was about to start frustrating me. Because I was like, I said, other than food that is not cooked that I get at a grocery store, most everything has a sales tax. I was like, so I gave him the example. If we buy a computer for $900, I'm going to have to pay $90 in sales tax in the state of California. Mm-hmm. And he was like, so things that you have to plug up in food you get at a restaurant, that's what you got to pay taxes for. I said, everything but.
Everything you legally purchased.
He was like, so food at a restaurant. I was like, Kai, don't you make me repeat myself again. But, just trying to spend more quality time with the boys can be frustrating. What's your, actually, before you go into your Tanksley Pride story, let me tell you about our first sponsor, our only sponsor for today's episode. This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. So one of the things that I appreciate about my upbringing is that I have been on a lifelong process and journey of getting to know myself, right? And really feeling comfortable in myself. However, one thing that I probably didn't realize at a younger age is that I'm always growing and changing. And maybe there are certain things that I thought about myself that I no longer align with how I feel, right? Well, therapy is about deepening your self-awareness and understanding, because sometimes we don't know what we want or why we react a certain way until we talk through things. BetterHelp connects you with a licensed therapist who can take you on a journey of self-discovery from wherever you are. I had my first session back with my therapist actually this past week. And one of the things I was telling her is like, I can feel myself starting to, I don't want to say get sad or depressed, but I wasn't feeling great about myself because I felt like there were certain things that I just weren't right in my life. And so we talked through it, and we came up with an understanding of why my feelings were the way they were. And she was like, what's great is that you are being very self-aware, because when you're self-aware about how you're feeling about things, she was like, we don't want to dismiss our feelings because we can actually take action in order to be able to feel good about our situation. So literally, that absolutely changed how I started approaching this week. We're recording this on a Monday. So like literally this morning, I was able to approach my week completely differently than what I had in the past couple of weeks, which has already got my day started off great. I feel a lot better about the outlook of my personal life, my professional life. So I just can't recommend therapy enough. If you think about starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited for your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. Discover your potential with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/argue today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/argue.
Argue.
All right, babe. What is your Tanksley Pride story?
since you already did the twins, I'll do Amar.
Okay.
Like Angel said, these are my kids, and they are showing my personality traits more and more. Amar, like the way he pays attention to stuff, it's scary sometimes. Like a lot of times when I'm doing certain things, I have to hide the fact that I'm doing it. Like he was messing with something he's never done before, messing with the outlet on the side of the countertop where the bar stools are. Mm-hmm. He went and started messing with because he saw me swapping out one that has USB ports. Uh-huh. And I was just like, no. I said, Amar, don't touch it. I had to give him the whole thing of, because that's the first time he's never messed with that thing at all. Mm-hmm. And so he's messing with that. But like today, I'm driving, and I've never explained this to him at all. Uh-huh. So I'm driving, and it's, it's wet outside. It's raining again. So I have driving modes on my truck. So I went over to the dial and I switched it over. I usually put it in conserve to, save gas. I put it over to slippery conditions. So I did that, and we just sat there riding, and he goes, Daddy, you put it in fast? You press the fast button? I was like, my first thought through my mind is like, how you know this even got a fast button? Mm-hmm. But two, how do you know that dial does anything? Right. Like, where did you get that from? Mm-hmm. But see, yeah, like the way that he's been able to, since he was able to walk, he's been able to figure out childproof locks and doors.
Yes.
Just because he will, and Kai used to do that. Kai and Sai used to do that. Would pay attention to, I can't get in there, but the next time you get in there, I'm going to be watching you.
I'm going to be watching you, and I'm going to do it.
Yeah, do it just like you. Uh-huh. Like he has 2 swords. They plastic swords. And when we first got the one, before he started just asking us to open it, the pantry door, I would see him get the one sword, press the button, and then get the other sword to pull the door open. I'm like, you using tools now. Like,
right. I'm surprised that that's the only way that you want to discuss that he's turning out to be like you. And not how
he is very mechanically inclined. You know what I'm saying? All of them very mechanically inclined. They know how to figure things out. Mm-hmm. I mean, he gets other stuff from both of us. Uh-huh. But as far as them being innovative in that matter, those are my kids. Moving on.
I thought you were going to talk about how you got my baby in the house cussing.
You got him in the house cussing.
No. The times.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead, okay.
I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this.
Say what you're going to say.
And you shut your mouth. Angel said she admitted that she's been the epicenter of the kids cussing. No.
I've admitted that I have been blamed.
Didn't I say shut your mouth?
And that's what Amar says to me, too.
Shut your mouth?
He be telling me.
I don't tell you shut your mouth.
Yes, you
No, I don't.
You've said
I just tell you
times.
to shut up. He ain't told you to shut up.
Yes, he's told me to shut my mouth.
No, I think he's heard you tell the twins that.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead. They tell each other that. Anyway, I had 2 bad days back to back this week. First time and only time Amar has ever heard me say a bad word around him. However, all these kids grow up with Angel cussing. First of all, nobody can throw out threats like a black mother.
Just get to why it feels like you're going around the topic. Just go to how you had our baby cussing.
2 different times I was telling a story. I was recounting what happened in the story. And
both times you were retelling
both
the story?
Times.
So the first one was,
I said that the little boy said I was tall.
That was the second time.
Okay. The first time I was talking about on what I said on the podcast. I was telling you a story about what I said about people not minding their business. Don't let us tell it. Uh-huh. And I was like, I just told them, you all know everybody's business. Shut the F up.
Yes.
I forgot he was even in the room.
Per use.
Oh, whatever.
And then what does little Amar start saying? Shut the F. But he was saying the actual word up.
So
he said it like 3 times.
So me having to deal with this so much from it coming from Angel, no. I was like, don't draw attention to it. Let's just change it up. Let's switch it up. Draws attention to something else. Angel's like, wait, what you saying, Ma? Let's do it. Say it again. See, that's why you need, regardless of how bad one parent is, you always need somebody, a good parent. The very next
day, you would think you learned his lesson. The very next day.
We was talking about what this little boy said when we went to a tour.
The school that we're trying to get.
Trying to get the twins into. His little boy asked me how tall I was. And I was like, 6'4", 6'5". He was like, God damn. And I was telling, I said, did you realize he cussed in front of his thing? And I said it just like that. And Amar, I never say that. That's not even a cuss word that's even in my vocabulary. Angel, you don't even try for it.
I didn't say nothing.
I don't even feel comfortable saying the
GD. Go ahead.
I don't feel I'll say all the other ones. Triple. Okay. But GD, I never. So I was telling that. And I was like, yeah, he said, and then Amar, God damn. God damn. I was like, oh my God. I was like, hey, you want some glow sticks, Amar?
You want some glow sticks,
he said, yeah, Dad, I want some glow sticks.
You want some goddamn glow sticks.
Shut up. See, I had 2 slip-ups. Never happens. But this one?
24 hours.
Just the music alone with Angel. I don't like listening to cussing, songs with cussing in around my kids. Angel will put on the City Guos, whoever these chicks are, and anybody else, and they dick that you in my. I'm like, Angel, we got the kids right here. You ain't gonna change this. You ow. That's what they ride around listening to. Whatever. Don't call the people on us. She's a good mother. Okay, she falls short. Look, we all fall short. But we can just touch him and his garment. Nisha,
Grant. We'll find out if the twins got into the school that we're applying them to on their birthday, on March 10th.
March 10th, yeah.
I'll be praying.
What we got? 13 days?
Woo, Jesus. Ain't that crazy? Yeah.
13?
No, less than that.
11?
11
days.
Yep, 11 days. All right, our next segment is TikTok o'clock.
Angel, girl, what time is it?
TikTok o'clock. This is where we listen to something on TikTok and we give our take on it, our opinion. So today is nothing different. So we haven't heard this before, so we're hearing it for the first time.
So what are some other things that you wish you would have known before you got married?
I wish I would have known that women's sex drives increase as they get older and men's decrease.
There it is.
Yeah, and they say God don't make mistakes, but ooh, this don't even seem right. This not my God. He wouldn't do this, would he? I peaked in the 20s. And
you peaking in 40s?
And she going in the 40s. And it's basically, I got to let her have a boyfriend. That's what it seemed like. Like, I need help. Okay, let me, I need this, I need help. I'm being worn out. And watch it, and I'm doing stupid stuff to try to keep up, trying to maintain. Like, stuff that, first of all, like, so I'm drug-free, right? This was one thing I can say. I ain't never took drugs,
yeah,
you know.
Neither.
However, they have these sexual enhancement drugs. You know, I'm taking the Viagra and the Cialis and the Levitra. And then the guys at my barbershop, they come and say, oh, them take them pills. You got to take the ones at the gas station. So they tell me to get the pills from the gas station. And these pills, they named after animals, rhino and donkey D and gorilla, man. I mean, just all this. Listen.
Oh, God. Oh, my goodness. That is a clip from Dear Future Wife or Dear Future Wifey podcast. So, okay. And the episode is titled Things I Wish I Knew Before Marriage. So, let's give our take on it. I have not experienced that as of yet.
No? No.
Yeah.
I think we're as even as we have been. I mean,
yeah. I feel like we're I mean, in relation to each other, it's the same. Like, meaning we both decreased, but we decreased at the same amount, meaning
it's usually me asking.
Right. It's
always been that way from jump.
Now I've checked my Anisha again. I've had my hormone check. I had a check when I had alopecia, and I have the hormone levels of a teenager. I am in great health when it comes to hormones.
Now, when she says relatively, understand a long break for us would be a week.
Yeah.
To where most people is be like, oh, it's been a month. Like a month. I ain't did that since we was celibate.
No, if it's been a week, something's wrong.
Yeah, no, that's like a long, like if we go Monday and it's Friday and ain't nothing happened, it's just like, so is this anything we need to talk about? Are you okay?
Right.
Did something happen? All right. What's going on? Like, that's a problem. So relatively for us, we have both like decreased in that aspect. But it hasn't been like.
I think a part of it, you know what I want to say, I think a part of it is most women, I believe, and I could be wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, by the time they're in their 40s, they're in a good stride when it comes to their career. So they're not potentially having to work as hard at their career. They're excelling in the ways they want to. They have a handle on whatever the heck it is that they're doing. That is not the case for me. While I am excelling, because the landscape of what I do is ever changing, my mental capacity is even more taxed than it was in my 20s. So I feel as though maybe we would be saying something different if I had a traditional job where I was now at a more of an executive level where it was more about overseeing the task that was happening and making sure there was a clear vision for whatever the job is. I possibly would follow more of what this man is saying, but because of how our job situation is set up, I am entering probably more uncharted territory for myself than what maybe a lot of women in their 40s would be. Yeah.
And that's something like I've especially heard men talk about, like once they hit the 40. I've been paying attention to myself. Mm-hmm. I'm like, that's something I dread. I can't imagine something worse than wanting to do it and can't.
Yeah.
But I've heard people talk about that, and even just in marriage in general. You know, a lot of times you hear the negative more than the positive. But in marriage they always say, oh, if you married, it ain't this, it ain't that. It's like, that's something we have not experienced.
Yeah.
Like that's important for both of us to make sure that we are what was it? I just remember that boy
active.
sitting over there. Active. Mm-hmm. To make sure he'd be all right. That we are both active, and if that's something that's been important to our relationship from the jump. Like even so much to where we even took a break before we got married.
Yeah. I also think somebody just mentioned it. For a lot of people in the Midwest and out East, their kids are all in high school, middle school and high school.
Or graduated at this age.
Or even college at the age that I'm at. Yeah. I'm about to be 43 years old. I have multiple friends who have kids graduating from high school.
We got godchildren in college.
Yes.
And their parents are our age.
So I think also because we have younger kids, it makes it a little more difficult for that to be the case.
Yeah.
So that's our stance on this TikTok o'clock. Let us know how you feel about it. If you're 40-year-old woman plus.
Sandy, hurry up and get back in here. She got to go take some work calls.
If you're a 40-plus-year-old woman, if you've noticed that your libido is all of a sudden, as Lamar said, you press the speed button.
Yeah. No, the fast button. You press the fast button.
Or if you're more like me and you're like, no, that's not what's happening yet. I mean, I look forward to that day.
And she ain't by no means slow.
Well, thank you, babe.
It ain't.
But I look forward to the day.
Me too.
All right, our next segment is our main topic of the week. So we're actually going to be covering two. The first will be dealing with how we approach our children as far as in technology. And then the second will be in kickoff and celebration for Women's History Month. Usually we try to do only one main topic, but I liked both so much for this episode. I was like, let's just do both. Why not? We can do that. So if you would care to break down to our audience, what is our policy on screen time for our children?
We try to crack down on screen time and limit it when we feel necessary. Like during the week, they're not allowed to be on tablets or switches or games. They end up still watching TV, but
This is for our three youngest.
Our three youngest. But especially the twins, they are in rigorous, like academic.
I realize that's a lie about Amar. Excuse me. That's
for the twins. With Amar, it's just like watch something.
Leave us alone.
But he don't do it out. He ain't touched the screen the whole time he's at daycare, and he's there from anywhere between 7:30, 9 o'clock to sometimes 6 o'clock.
Yeah. There's no technology for real. They sometimes play like a Christian video on the TV, like music, but for the most part, they don't interact with technology at all during the day.
Right, but the twins, they don't get anything during the week. They do watch TV. However, the twins, a busy day for them is mainly Tuesday and Thursday. They go to school. They're at school all day. They get out of school. They go to tutoring. They're in tutoring for 30 minutes to an hour. Then they get home and they do homework. And I'm like, that's a long day of nothing but reading, writing, studying, adding, counting, whatever it may be. Yeah, of course you can watch some TV. By the time they get around watching TV, they take a break from that, eat dinner, take showers, and they in the bed.
Yeah.
So, we give them that. On the weekend, because they have such a rigorous schedule, they still have tutoring and homework that they do on the weekend, but we still let them, they tablet switches. It may be all day Saturday and Sunday. I'm not proud of it. But
if we don't get them out of the house, they'll be on
if we don't get
things.
them out of the house. And that's something I try to go out front, play basketball, or we ride the bikes through the neighborhood but that's something I'm working on as a parent, of trying to be more active with them, because a lot of times I get busy, and when I'm not busy, it's like, I just want to take a break.
Yeah.
I want to rest. I don't want to have to ride around and keep them alive because they ain't paying attention on bikes, throughout the neighborhood. But yeah, so that's pretty much how it goes. And then the oldest, I know he sneaks in games and stuff frequently throughout the week, but
because he found a loophole. He can't have his tablet,
right?
But he can have his cell phone. So he just didn't download the games on that cell phone.
No, I didn't even walked in on a couple times doing his homework, and I noticed that switch over back to work, and I'm like, I see you. Yeah, I see you. You acting like you can't hear me. But I mean, as long as there ain't nothing falling off as far as, academically, which is not, he's doing excellent. I don't have a problem with that. We all do little sneaky stuff.
I think our biggest thing that we, more so than the actual screen time, it is the content in which they are being exposed to, which is harder and harder to what's that word? To monitor.
I was gonna say mitigate.
We try to be very strict on the games in which they are allowed to play. This goes for specifically the twins and little Marcus. Amar is definitely playing games that are too old for his age, but that's because he's watching his brothers play it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of difficult to be like, oh, you can't play that and you can't see it when you can legitimately see it because it's right beside you because your brothers are playing it. So we try to have a strict policy about the amount of violence that is inside of the games. Little Marcus had it probably the strictest because he was the first. So it was easy to keep other things from coming into the house that weren't age appropriate. Right. Now that he's 13, we allow him to play things that are appropriate for ages 13 and below, or 14 and below, maybe even 15. So his brothers sometimes see it if they're in his room. Right.
But even still, because I don't know if it's just his personality or the way we rolled up, brought him up, is like he's still not interested. Even if he plays, what is it, Fortnite and
Call of Duty or something.
Call of Duty and stuff, I'm sure he's played them before, but he's not into those. And it's like, I remember before, I think he was probably Amar's age. This is one of the times I went to a barbershop out here, and some kids, they had it on the game, and some kids, fathers was in there getting their haircut, so the kids was playing. And the scene I saw, I was just like, y'all good with y'all's kids playing this? Like literally the dude climbed up a ladder and snuck in the spot house, had the sniper. And the dude walked up behind him and grabbed his head and slit his throat. I was like, no, when I was coming up, it was like the most violent game you could play was Mortal Kombat, which is like fantasy violence.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna walk up and grab nobody's head and lift it off their shoulders, but you can definitely walk up behind somebody, grab a knife, and slit their goddamn throat.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna grab somebody and electrocute them like you do as in Mortal Kombat back then, but you could definitely take a gun and pop them in the head 3 times. That wasn't in Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
So it was like the amount of real violence. I was just like, and these kids I think they were around his age at the time, and I was like, nah,
yeah,
I'm not good with this at all. So not exposing that to him, I think it's important that people don't expose kids to that stuff too early,
right?
Because then they get desensitized to certain things,
Absolutely.
And that's the last, in my opinion, that's the last thing you want. So now he understands, he knows, like, if he wants to play whatever he can, but he knows, like, his brothers, what they can't see. You know what I'm saying? Once he was of age, I played some Mortal Kombat with him and tore him all up.
The game, I can't remember the game. It was this Disney game that we had gotten him when he first got into playing video games. So it was all like, it was all very unrealistic physical contact. Like if your person
Grand Theft Auto rape scenes and stuff.
Oh,
like,
yeah, they have prostitutes at Grand Theft Auto.
I'm like
it's a bit much. The Disney game that we used to let him play, like if your character accidentally fell off of a thing, their body would fall apart in little pieces.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't anything. There was no blood. There was nothing like that. Disney Infinity or something like that.
Yeah.
But
that game was fun.
It was very fun. We collected so many of the characters, but the biggest thing right now that our kids are into, which somebody put in the comments, is the Roblox. It is very, very, very popular right now for their age group. But we had to put restrictions on that because Roblox allows you to communicate with people that your children do not know.
Yeah.
So we had to disable all of the chat features. So when they're in game, they cannot communicate with anyone. When they're out of game, because like Roblox think of Roblox as a universe, and games are different planets inside the universe.
Yeah.
So when they are not in game, they are able to talk to people that they friended, but the only way to friend someone is to know their username.
Yeah.
So they have like friended their cousin Micah, a couple of their friends from school, their brother, a couple of their brother's friends.
Yeah, I had to let Kai's mother-in-law know.
You are stupid.
That because when I found out they switched information, I was like, just so you know, because that's when we found out.
Yeah.
Because we was like, Marcus, what is this? He was like,
Right.
We was all like, why are they able to talk to people? So Kai's mother-in-law, that's the only way I can refer. I don't even know the young lady's name.
Don't you do it. Quit marrying off my child. The mother to the Kai's friend. Uh-huh.
Yeah, because it's something I think even Melanie didn't know that. And I was like, I had to let like everybody's child that we knew that was on this game, like, make sure you limit this in the settings because they can just talk to whoever if that's not limited.
Yeah. So trying to make sure that our kids aren't exposed to people that we aren't aware of, and they're not exposed to a lot of different violence. The where things get a little more difficult. So on Roblox, there's also a setting where the games that they are allowed to even engage in have been rated appropriate for a certain age range. So I think it's like 9 and under. Those are the games that they are allowed to take part in. Yeah.
There was something else with that same game. It all looks confusing. I don't get any of it. But Sai kept waking up with nightmares or scared to go to sleep. Mm-hmm. And we was like, what are you scared of? And he described, I just see like eyes and teeth. And I was like, eyes and teeth? I was like, where did you see this? Mm-hmm. I didn't see it anywhere. This is where I have nightmares. I was like, all right, boys. Like, we worked with that. This went on for like a week and a half, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And finally, one day, I saw one of them playing, and I just like kind of glanced over at the screen, and I see this bright flash, and it happened like a strobe light, happened real quick, and it was literally like black eyes, like just eyes and like teeth. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I said, no, whatever that is. I said, what was that? What was that? What setting was that? What monster was it? Had to figure out what it is. It's like, that's something that apparently you can't handle that. pull that up out of the repertoire. I don't know how we do this, so I had to be the old parent on the internet. Roblox, monster, this, monster, that, ghost, this. I had to search all of this stuff trying to figure out what it was.
Yeah. So that is a challenge, but then also probably a lot of your kids are into different YouTube creators and trying to make sure that the creators that my kids are starting to become interested in aren't promoting anything or saying anything. They already know that they are not allowed to watch content where there is inappropriate language used or just subject matter that is not appropriate for them. So luckily they latch on to a creator at a time. So at one point in time they were they still are into Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast, if you all don't know, he's a young white man who started doing YouTube in high school, and a lot of the stuff that he does is more like creating a fantasy around adults. So trying to win $1 million in the lottery by buying 1 million lottery tickets, playing hide and seek, but the cash prize is $100,000, and he's rented out an entire compound. That's
what people are saying, and they are. These YouTubers be loud, and it pisses me off.
Yeah, the YouTubers
they
be
just
screaming.
Yell for no reason.
There's this one dude that I'm not really feeling right now. His channel is unspeakable. There's a little bit too much of a frat mentality. There's no cussing. There's no sexual innuendos that he does. But there's a lot of destructiveness. They'll break stuff just to break it, or they'll fill the house with a bunch of ball pit balls, or fill the house with snow or with water and sand. They asked one boy, "Oh, see if you can hang from the ceiling fan," and the guy jumped up there. Of course, the ceiling fan broke. And I was like, see, I don't like it. I don't like that whole, we're just going to be destructive for the sake of entertainment, because that also feeds into your kids' psyche of, this is what's considered fun. Mm-hmm. I'm going to break things that are considered valuable to a lot of people. I'm going to do things that are excessive because I have so much, I'm of such great privilege that when I break something that is new, it means nothing. Right. I was like, I don't like that.
I can't stand I hate that.
Marcus is talking about annoyances. He's not talking about.
But you don't say what follows that.
What the heck?
But what the heck ain't the actual term. It's like people saying, ninja. No.
Yeah, you're right. The meaning behind it is.
And the meaning, I'm like, and granted, they don't know the meaning, but I don't want y'all to say anything close to it. And I'm like, hey, don't say that at all. Mm-hmm. What the? Ugh.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's somebody I'm about to be like, I don't want you watching him anymore. Amar is a harder one because he now no longer wants to deal with his own apparatus. He wants to be on everybody else's.
And it be the same stuff.
But the problem is that Amar's restrictions on his apparatus are tighter.
Yeah.
So I typically don't have to worry about what he's watching. Let me tell you what done pissed me off. Amar usually has me search Lightning McQueen when he gets on my phone, right? Makes it simple. I noticed there was some Lightning McQueen videos coming up, and there was a lot of destruction. It would be characters that don't belong with Lightning McQueen with swords and stabbing stuff, and it was just getting crazy. And I was like, what is this? And then I see it's some creator that this is what they create. It's it's like mixing children's stuff with stuff that should not be with kids. So now I can't even search Lightning McQueen because his stuff keeps coming up so high. I have to do Lightning McQueen cartoon.
Yeah.
To get him out of the algorithm of my YouTube.
His was easy because it was Coco Melon.
Yeah.
Then after that, it was I can't remember the other one. Then it was Lightning McQueen. It was something he used to look. It was all colors and numbers.
Yeah.
Can't remember what it was,
That's
but it was
how
always
he learned his colors.
It was always trucks and cars, and they'd be all different colors. And that's how he learned his colors.
Yeah.
And even numbers too. He was picking up on numbers from watching that. I'm like, all right, now they done infiltrated the clean fun.
Yeah, it just doesn't. It's very frustrating when creators do that, when they take stuff that they know is meant for an age range and then add their own little demonic demented twist to it. It's just like there are adults that would love your horrendous content.
Yeah.
Take the cartoon part out of it and do something else. So it is more than screen time. It is the content in which they are taking in that we try our best to monitor. Our son Marcus is the only social media he's allowed to have is YouTube, and I monitor that. I actually own his YouTube channel, MT2 Gaming, and he knows the restrictions he has on what he can post, and he also doesn't have a strong need to have any other type of social media. The one platform he'll never be able to have is Snapchat, because that is the devil's playground. You can't convince me any way else.
That's the one where they up for a short amount of time?
Yeah, it disappears. But it doesn't really disappear. You can always find a way to get into it, and there's a lot of like disappearing messages, and it is a playground for predators. Whether the predators are the same or around the same age as your kids or adults, it's just an easy place for a lot of secretive stuff to happen. Not just sexual perversion, but also bullying. So that is one that not while he's in my house he'll ever have. He doesn't really have an interest in TikTok, so he'll only be on my TikTok.
He be watching TikToks.
Because he can see it
Yeah.
on YouTube.
Yeah.
Which I don't have.
I'll be showing him some TikToks. They things be funny.
Oh, yeah, we show him the funny ones. He can see, like, on YouTube Shorts, people usually upload their TikToks.
Right.
And I don't mind that.
You hear that snickle and that shake. That's how you know he's snicker and that shake.
Yes.
He's watching the TikTok.
It is typically the communication that happens in the comments and in the DMs that I'm more so concerned about. Like, no, you ain't got to participate in none of that. So as far as I know, he ain't got no Finsta. As far as I know, he ain't got no illegal TikTok account. It would be to his great detriment if that were the case. Yeah. Great detriment. Okay, so that is all we're going to say on our screen time policies. Let's move on in the last few minutes that we have on the podcast to talk about Women's History Month. There's a trend going on social media where men are naming 3 women they admire that they are not related to, and the results have been less than impressive. So, Marcus, I want to hold you to the challenge.
Oh, dang, I'm related.
Name 3 women, and then I'll do the same, that you admire that you are not related to.
I'll pick 3 different genres. I think it'll make it easier because I'm like, I pay attention to women I'm related to. Keita, Melissa. I'll take music. I will have to say Missy Elliott.
Okay.
Yeah, I was about to compare. I was about to take that one back, put another down. Missy Elliott is like holds the crown, and that's not even women. That's like music. Period. That's men too. Like even everybody know I'm a big fan of Jay-Z, but Jay-Z ain't done what Missy's done. So I put her at the tip top. You can run them off. You can't find nobody. Stevie Wonder's up there with her. Stevie, Smokey. They done some great things, but for my generation and what I'm into, Missy holds the crown of all-time great. Okay. Hands down. Let me switch over to business-wise. I'm going to have to say got to take this out. I can't remember her name. Kiara Lachey. Kiara Lachey started their business. These people, they let us in on some insight, and just watching the way they move, the way they've done business, hired family, running a successful business, and it's constantly growing is inspirational. Definitely, I mean, it's a team effort. It's her and her husband, but we talking about the women. Yeah. Shout out to KP. He actually just messaged me recently. I need to respond to him. So then I'll put that in the. I did Missy for music. I'll do her as far as entertainment or social media. Why ain't you opening your mouth right now?
I'm letting you talk.
Oh, you going? Mm-hmm.
Good boy, go ahead.
So yeah, Kiara Lachey, and then give me another genre.
I'm not helping you with this.
No, because I don't understand why this is hard for dudes.
Just give me another person.
Who else? I'm trying to think of a different genre.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, so I can pick the same genre again?
It does not matter.
It does not matter. I would say somebody say gasms. Y'all stupid.
Don't look at them.
I guess I could say I could stay with social media. Should I stay with social media?
It doesn't matter. Name your third person.
I want to pick a different genre.
All
right, sports. I'll go with sports, and I would have to put, of course, I feel like it's an easy one, but I'll have to go with her, Serena Williams.
Okay.
Because she surpassed all the men.
Mm-hmm.
Who's touching her? Olympics, golds, World Cups. Ain't nobody touching Serena. Mm-hmm. You know, Pete Sampras, no, ain't nobody touching Serena. I would put her against any man in the league, and all that she's done, the where she's gotten in her career, where she started from, where she's at. It wasn't a place of privilege like a lot of these people start off from. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? She dug her way, climbed her way to the top. She done made herself a sex symbol in the process. She done did it, and also been strong doing it. Like strong as far as being good at the sport, and not just a visual, what do you call it? Not just been a visual. She's been the thing. Like she's been her. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's my three.
My three would be the Honorable Ketanji Jackson Brown, or is it Brown Jackson? I might be flipping her last names. Mm-hmm. Supreme Court Justice. I just can't imagine all she had to go through to
man
to get to where
man, come on.
I said it right, Brown Jackson. To get to where she is.
I couldn't think of her name.
I thought it was just a beautiful, beautiful moment to watch her become Supreme Court Justice. And, you know, I don't know when we'll see something like that ever again, but I would have said Michelle Obama because I will cry the day I meet her. Mm-hmm. But I wanted to, I felt like that was an easy pick. So we're going to say the Honorable.
That's what
Ketanji
I didn't want to do
Jackson.
Was easy picks.
Yeah. No, I get it.
That's like, I could.
The second would be.
Other one when you got other than hers, Mother Mary.
The second one would be my sans, Keisha Raspberry, mm-hmm. who is one of the executives at Brown & Forman. Brown & Forman is responsible for probably a vast majority of the liquor that people ingest.
90%.
Jack Daniels, Corbel. What's the name
Bacardi?
of that tequila?
I'm sure.
There's a tequila that I can't think of right now. Anyways, this is how dope she is in that business. We went to an event. Not for their company. We went to a, what's the name of the Black Uncle Nearest event. And there was a guy at the table who was like, oh, I have a friend here who works for Brown & Forman. I said, oh, then he knows my sans, Keisha Raspberry. He was like, oh, yeah, maybe, possibly. I was like, if he is a black
dude that
man,
we were sitting beside said,
I was like, if he is a person that works there, he would know her. And he was like, oh, okay, yeah. He was still kind of trying to downplay it. So we go over to the dude. And we meet him and his wife. They were super nice. And I said, so you work at Brown & Forman? He was like, yeah. I said, so you know my soror, Keisha Raspberry. He said, oh, she's the queen. She's basically running the place. Yeah. I said, I'm glad
Keisha ain't no
that
joke.
You understand who she is. I said, because your friend wasn't getting it. Yeah. Your friend wasn't getting it.
For those that don't know about like the tier and everything, if Brown & Forman were gas stations, they would be Exxon. Like Exxon owns most of the gas stations that you see. I think the only one Exxon don't own is possibly Shell and maybe BP, but I think Exxon may even own them. Like Brown, there's nobody above Brown & Forman when it comes to alcohol distribution and sales.
Yeah.
And she is damn near the CEO at this point.
Yeah. Yeah. She's, it don't get no better. I know y'all want me to name Beyonce because I always name Beyonce because I love her
That's
to
an easy
death.
one.
But I'm actually going to name her mother Tina Knows. And,
You stupid.
and this is the reason why. This is truly the reason why. Not only has she created two monsters when it comes to the arts, Beyonce and Solange, and as well as been a huge part of rearing Kelly Rowland. I really have been watching, like from afar, obviously, how she has been handling the scrutiny that her eldest child has been under after announcing her tour, after being called a witch, after being called demonic, all the stuff, even how she handled when that whole elevator thing happened with Solange and Jay-Z and the video being leaked. And specifically this current situation, I've watched like the stuff that she's posted and how, I don't know, as being a mother myself, I'm very protective of my children, as I'm sure she is too. I am a mama bear, but how she has, like, I see her post and how she posts certain things about her daughter to try to get people to see that, like, I don't know who you think you are, but I know the light that's within my child. And just because you don't agree and just because you feel some sort of conviction does not mean that what you feel is truth is actually truth. This is you making assumptions because you can't deal with your own spiritual walk. And I can only imagine how much probably hurt she feels for her child to see someone who she's watched work tremendously hard, who had to kind of step out on her own and relieve her father of management and still continue to grow her brand. How her as a mother is having to deal with all of this and being someone, you know, her mom's in the spotlight too of how trying to handle that with grace. I just could not imagine God ever giving me that much grace to not blow up everything. The shade room would be posting my responses. It would not be, oh, that's right, Mama Tina. It would be like, that chick Angel is a hood rat, if you did not know.
Yeah. This day and age where there's people that have so much to say about people that they don't know.
Yeah.
It's like, you don't know the first thing about this person other than their name.
Yeah.
At all. Like, this is a stranger to you. It's a stranger to you, and you a big fan.
Yes. I still, as much as I enjoy Beyonce, and I probably have watched every documentary and concert multiple times, I am fully aware that woman is a stranger to me, and I am a stranger to her. And you know, it doesn't matter what she's written about in a song or had somebody write about in the song. I'm not going to pretend like that gave me all this insight into her life. Songs are fictitious a lot of the time.
I don't even know. Like, I've only heard the backlash and the stuff heard about the backlash stuff that like she's gotten when y'all said, you know, I want to thank God. People like, what God she thank? And I'm like,
oh my God.
And this ain't just Beyonce. This is anybody. It's just like, this day and age is like where people are able to put their opinions out and it be read, and they able to find their community of people that think like them. It's hilarious to me.
It's crazy.
I find it so fun. I'm like, where y'all getting this stuff from?
From their minds. And so my hat's off to her. I just don't know how she does it. I really don't. Okay, let's go to Tank Our Advice. Tank Our Advice. We got this from our moderator, Shay, a.k.a. Sam. Well, that's actually her name, Samantha. Do you all think there's a correlation between women becoming more confident in older age that ties to having a bigger sex drive? I'll say my piece and then you say yours. Yeah. I think it has a little bit to do with it. I really think a lot of the times, at least for me and when I talk to other women, our sex drive can easily be dampened by all the mental things happening. And in a woman's, as she approaches middle age, she's typically dealing with career stuff. She's dealing with children. and she's dealing with managing her relationships, whether it be marriage, friendships, all that stuff. I feel like things begin to settle out when you are older, where there's not a lot of drastic changes happening. There's not as much to juggle. Like, you don't have to juggle so many things. So that allows your mind to be open to relaxing and having like sex actually fill in some of those spaces, where I think a lot of times that's the one thing that doesn't necessarily help anything but the relationship between you and this person. Obviously, sex has other health benefits, but it doesn't necessarily help you manage your job or your job skills. It doesn't always help you manage your friendships, navigating them. Because it's not a direct connection to those things, it can sometimes fall lower on priority list. Mm-hmm. You go ahead.
And what was it?
Does older and becoming more confident.
Okay. Yeah. So for me, I think becoming more confident comes with experience. Mm-hmm. I don't know. As far as a woman, I can't speak on that. But as far as being older and having more confidence, it comes with experience. You begin to put things in perspective. You are able to put things to the back burner that you realize don't matter anymore. Yeah. Versus things that do matter. And experience comes with living life and different things that you've done. This is like, just for me, being on social media and posting. Yeah, I do that with a lot more confidence versus I used to. I have to go to angels like, is this okay? Mm-hmm. What you think about that? Is that okay? And it's just like, no, I don't even think about it and post it because it's from experience. As far as, a woman and living life and having, higher sex drive, can't speak to that. But anybody, not just a woman, would have more confidence the more experience that they have naturally.
I agree. I very much so agree. So now we're going to move to the comment of the week, and it comes from our episode last week entitled Words That Last, and I think it goes perfectly with what you just said. It comes from viewer Snow Leopard to Lamore 1669. Woo! That took me a lot.
Who you are.
This person says, I'm glad your husband has come out of his shell because I watched his segments with Black Love Channel and he's definitely growing as a social media voice. His Let Us Tell It with Gooseby has been more enjoyable and fun. He's less tense. And then she said to me, Queen, wear that crown. You did that and feel better, Amar.
Oh, well.
Look at you. More experience. Like he said, he's more confident. You too can have your comment read by engaging with our content, whether it be on our episodes on YouTube or with our content on our social media channels, specifically on Is This Going to Cause an Argument on Instagram, as well as I post a lot of the videos on my TikTok. So leave us a comment and yours might be read next week. You can follow me on all social media platforms at That Chick Angel. Pretty much you'll be able to follow me. If that's not the handle, type that in and you'll find my my actual account. Obviously, you can leave us a review, rate and review us on Apple Podcasts. It makes us more discoverable. And you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, That Chick Angel TV, as well as Tanksley TV, where Let Us Tell It is uploaded weekly. Mm-hmm. Babe, where can they find you?
Y'all can find me on Instagram at Marcus Saint on the gram, Facebook at Marcus Saint on the book, TikTok at Tank Don't Talk. Y'all can find my beard and body butter. Got to make some more at manshit.com. All you got to do is go to MANSHYT. Check that out. Also, the scented version is about to be on the website of that. And Patreon already knows. I don't know if y'all know. Tasting with Tank is coming back. It's going to be with a twist. So on Tanksley TV, so keep an eye out for that.
I meant to tell you during the Patreon event yesterday, Shantae was like, make sure you all support Marcus and Man Shit, because maybe if we support him a whole lot, Queen Shit will eventually come out.
There's a lot of things that come with making Queen Shit. I don't know how to
hear about it. They want it.
All you have is look.
They do.
It's hard to make it consistent. I haven't figured out how to streamline it yet. And then I don't want to make a batch and y'all, this is great. And you tell somebody about it, they order. It's like, what's this bullshit you done got me on?
They want you to start trying.
I've been trying. Look, Queen shit's coming back. Scented Virgin Man shit. I'm working on the shampoo too. Beard shampoo, not for y'all's hair, because I don't know how to do that. I'm working on it, y'all. Leave me alone.
You can also go to Shop Mama Likes to get purses, as well as head wraps will be uploaded soon, as well as some skincare. So be on the lookout for that. And until next time, Patreon, y'all stick around because we're doing a bonus, not a bonus episode. We're doing a second episode that'll be uploaded the week after next. So Patreon is gonna get that right now. The rest of y'all, we'll see y'all next Wednesday. Y'all be blessed.
Y'all have a good one, fam.
Bye.